What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. I'm your host, Brandon Goggins. Um, First of all, I hope that everybody is doing as well as they can today. Um, Please consider liking the video before we continue and consider subscribing if you are new here because we have a lot of things to talk about. And I want you to be tuned in for any other videos that may be similar to this one because I'm this close to getting on the Clippers. Like all of them. Everybody. I'm going to try and reserve as much as I can. Um, we just I don't know. I really don't know what it is with us, bro. No, I do know what it is. It's the same two things that I've been talking about since the season began: defense and turnovers, gang. What are we doing, bro? We'll get into like the details of that, in due time. But overall, what I think about this game is we are on the second end of a back to back. We're missing Kawhi. We're missing Beal. Um, the Thunder, 7-0 now 8-0, are the best team in the league, and we were hanging with them. We actually outplayed them in the first quarter, and then second quarter it was like kind of, and it was all down there. It was downhill from there. Um, we can't seem to finish games, and that like really irritates me because we have so many people who are familiar with closing games on this roster, but we just can't seem to do it. Now, whether that be a coaching issue, a player issue, a front office issue, I don't know. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed, but I might as well just continue to talk about the game quarter by quarter as we typically do. Talk about what went good, what went bad, where I think we lost the game, all of that in just a second. Sorry about that. But nah, let's get straight into it. Let's talk through everything quarter by quarter, starting with the first. Tonight we started Harden, Chris Dunn, Nico, Derrick Jones Jr., and Big Zoo. Obviously we didn't have Kawhi, who rolled his ankle late in the game versus the Heat the other day, and we didn't have Bradley Beal, who is working his way back from his knee problems. Back, I don't know anymore, bro. I'm not gonna address it, bro. I'm not, bro. I understand minute restriction, still working his way back. Bradley Beal, we can't wait to have you back on the floor, man. I'm so excited to see you against the Suns. Again, let's do it. Bradley Beal. And Beal we trust. The Thunder started Shea, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Isaiah Hardenstein, and Chet Holmgren. J-Dub is still out dealing with his injury. I needed Harden to go crazy in this game. This was against one of his former teams. Kawhi wasn't playing, so obviously the eyes were going to be on him. And it seemed like in his first quarter, he heard me. He opened the game with a 4-point play at the top of the key, then splashed another deep three. And you can see that he started feeling himself, started getting a little groove. It looked like we had OKC flustered early on, man. We were forcing turnovers. We were creating clean looks. Harden banged home another three. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were really just up. The first 12 Clipper points, all James Harden. Timeout. Thunder had to call a timeout to try and slow him down. The wall was even coming into play, man. We got a few early free throw misses from OKC. Love to see it pay off, man. But of course, with positives, there are always negatives. Guess what move Zubats tried to complete that led to a Chet coast-to-coast finish? I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess. If you guess the post hook fadeaway, you're right, because he keeps doing that, even though I haven't seen it pay off one time. It'll go in next game, Zubats. We got it against the Suns. Just keep doing it. Zubats, if you're watching this, keep doing that shot, bro. No matter how many times you miss it, no matter how many times you repeatedly miss it time and time again, keep doing it, bro. It's going to fall in. It's going to fall in. Don't even worry about squaring up to the basket, putting yourself in a solid position to score or at least draw a foul. Fade away, hook so you can avoid as much contact as possible and just hope it goes in because it's going to go in, bro. You got this. Hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I'm going to call that out until it's out of his bag. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, moving on. Bogey, he checked in and he hit his first shot of the game. Like, hell yeah. You know, I was hoping that was a good sign. And then after that, Harden drilled yet another three. He had 17 in the first quarter, man. Season high for any quarter so far. Our defensive rotations were looking a lot sharper than they were last game. It seemed like they were clearly emphasizing whatever walkthrough or practice we may have had, you know. Isaiah Joe, he did cash a deep buzzer beater to end the first quarter, and that gave them a little bit of momentum, but we still led by 10 after one. And as I kind of felt, that Isaiah Joe heave was a warning and foreshadowing for what was to come. Because OKC decided to open the second quarter on a 9-0 run, and they sliced the lead to 4. Turnovers, 4 shots. Same story, different day. Ty Lue had to burn the timeout, bro. The broadcast then, you know, reminded us of how old we were and put a graphic on there showing that we have 7 players older than OKC's oldest player, Alex Caruso. Just emphasizing how unk we are. I was like, bro, we don't need to see this. We already know. And then we began to feel it. We kept committing dumb turnovers that then became thunder points. The only silver lining in that was that we got Lou Dort to 3 fouls with 9 minutes left to go in the second. And they still let him in. They still let them in. You know? John Collins started cooking. That's when he started feeling his groove. We really needed that. He was already at 13 points in just 10 minutes midway through the second. But we kept on giving them answers on the other end. You know, defenders, they're testing Bogey off the bounce. AJ Mitchell took bro straight to the rack. You know what I'm saying? Bogey, you out there looking like a traffic cone, my dog. A traffic cone. Then we blew a rotation next possession, left Case and Wallace absolutely butt naked in the corner for the 3. With about 4 minutes left in the half, only Harden and Collins were in double figures. Nobody else had over 5 points. So, we can't roll into crunch time with only 2 guys having any type of warmth, you know? To cap it, we turned it over again, gave up a transition 3, and OKC tied it up with an 8-0 punch. Derrick Jones Jr. finally started to get a couple to fall, kind of to spread the lead, you know, spread it a little bit, take the pressure off of Harden and Collins, because, man, somebody else needs to score, you know? Unfortunately, we burned a challenge on some SGA foul bait. I'm personally not with it. I think that you should save challenges for the back portion of the game in case you need it, because you never know when you'll be in a position to where it could be a critical call that could go in your favor, but now you don't have you don't have a challenge. Despite the swings, we scraped to the break. I don't know, bro. We just used the challenge, bro. It's not like, I mean, shoot, I don't know why I'm over here tripping like it mattered, but it could have mattered is what I'm saying. We were able to, you know, get to halftime up 1. We need to clean up. I was thinking we needed to clean up the handle and lock back in on defense like we did the first quarter, because OKC is the type where, like, they're down 1, that don't mean shit. Like, it don't mean nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were just getting started, really. The third quarter, my favorite quarter of the game, if you guys didn't know. Some may call it our kryptonite. I love the third quarter, man. We play so well every third quarter, bro. Like, we really come to play. It was the perfect time to flip this narrative that, we don't perform in the third quarter. How do we start off the third quarter? Same old shiitake mushrooms. You guessed it. Turnovers. Lackadaisical with the ball. SGA slipped right into his rhythm. I'm like, oh hell. Here we damn go. Here we go. We strung together a few stops for some needed fast breaks. But the moment Alex Caruso checked in, he picked us, went coast to coast, and scored on his first touch of the half, bro. He had just checked in. Just checked in. We give it right to him. Welcome to the game, bud. I mean, here you go. I mean, I probably not gonna stop you, so you should just go right past me and go score at the end. Put you guys up some more. So, yeah. Shea kept on doing his thing. He kept on stacking up points. He tallied his 80th straight game of 20 plus. Yeah. He said that he takes it personal every time that he plays the Clippers after that PG trade back in 2019. I prefer not to talk more about that, especially given how tonight went. But, he made that clearly evident. We even got hit with a delay of game. A tech. We received the tech for a delay of game because it was our second of the game. Bogey scored it. Zoo happened to be under the net, so he, flips the ball back, to the inbounder. Like, it's not like it went out of the way, not like he threw it or anything. Nothing extra. But they still called him for a delay of game. It was stupid. So OKC got to shoot the technical free throw, and I'll let you guess who took that free throw. Brook Lopez did save us from, a runaway, at least, in that moment. He had back-to-back big threes. He was 4 for 4 on the night. But we just kept on losing Isaiah Joe on the perimeter. That can't happen, bro. Isaiah Joe is not a big name, but he is, I think, one of the best shooters in the league. And we decided to just keep on leaving him open, giving him space to shoot. Wide open, bro. He has that high arcing shot, bro. It's splash every time. It's like, bro, are we going to get a hand up? Are we going to rotate or not? Like, first quarter was not perfect, but damn near, bro. We didn't come close to that for the rest of the game. I don't know, bro. Like, our rotations, I know that SGA's paint pressure draws eyes. He drives it in, and he attracts the defense because he's such a threat in there. But we can't keep on gift wrapping Joe practice looks. Those are practice shots that we letting him get. The third wasn't as disastrous as some others, but that's not really saying much, It still wasn't good. We headed to the fourth down 8, and Shea was already sitting on 30. He was already sitting on 30. Yes, the 30 that he finished with, because he didn't even freaking play in the fourth quarter. They knew that they were going to take off with this. They were only up 8, and they still knew. We opened the fourth by giving up open shots, of course. Extra possessions, of course. No box outs, of course. Not even just second chance points. Third chance points as well, bro. That's how we get the game. Let it go away. That's how we let it go away every time, bro. Only a couple minutes go by. Next thing we look up, we down 15. Ty Lue calls a timeout. This is where, I've advocated for this in the past, very recently. This is where you put James Harden back in the game. Obviously, you don't have Kawhi Leonard, but obviously, you don't have anybody on the floor that's scoring or doing anything to try and close this gap. So why not put your leading and best scorer back in the game to try and combat this run? Instead, James Harden does not go back in the game. First possession out of the timeout. What do you guys think it was? If you guess turnover, you're correct. Congratulations. You win a car. You win a car. Everybody that just guessed it wins a car because it was probably everybody that said it was a turnover because that's just the name of the game for us. We the LA turnovers. Their 17-0 run, which carried over from late third, just kept on snowballing. It just kept on piling up. Brooks started playing frustrated. He had a bad turnover, and then that went to a silly foul. And then, he re-locked in and hit some more threes, but we were still down 15 after all of that. Yep. Harden finally checked back in when we were down 17. But by then you asking for a miracle. So OKC kept the pedal down, and when Lou finally pulled the vets, we let the young guys plus Bogey close it out because there was no point. Like, bro, the game was already out of reach. I don't understand putting him back in the game when the game is already out of reach. Do it before the game gets out of reach. Down by 15, yes, that's tough. But with enough time, that's still very feasible for a comeback. James Harden could lead you to that. I'm not saying that he can hit 5 back-to-back threes, but he can hit 2 or 3 of them and get 2 or 3 of them out to some guys by penetrating and kicking. We don't have a whole bunch of guys that are going to do that. We need him to facilitate the offense. I love Chris Paul, bro. I love Chris Paul, but he's not who we need out there at that moment, or at least not by himself. I thought that we competed for a decent chunk of the night. But, of course, two themes stay the same, turnovers and defense. Back-to-back games with 20 turnovers, by the way. I know that we technically finished with 19, but I'm rounding up because the problem is real. We're rounding up turnovers. We scored 12 points on their giveaway. Guess how many points they scored off of our turnovers? 34. 34. That's the game right there, bro. That's the game. We lost by 19. They outscored us off of turnovers by 22. Yes, we didn't have Kawhi. Second night of the back-to-back. Fatigue is real. But I still thought that we'd keep it competitive. That's my mistake for thinking that the first quarter was any indicator that we would continue that momentum throughout the game. Silly me for thinking that. I'm so sorry for getting blue balled like that. OKC moves to 8-0. We dropped to 3 and 4. We're in 9th in the West. It's not where we want to be, but it doesn't have to be where we stay. We got 2 games against the struggling Suns up next. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything, but that is an opportunity to try and get back above water. There are a lot of things that we need to clean up. We need to improve on our handle, finding shooters, boxing out, just being overall disciplined. We have a lot of things that we need to handle. If we can clean up on those just a little bit, we can be back in business. But I don't know. It's looking... I don't really know, bro. That is going to do it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below on this game. Voice your frustrations if you have any. But also, if you want to spread some positivity, be sure or feel free to leave that positivity in the comments. I don't know, man. I was frustrated with this. Obviously, I know the circumstances, but I think I'm just more upset because the game was in our hands, or we had control early. We just didn't continue it, and I'm like, y'all should have just never tried at that point. If y'all were just gonna play the rest of the game without looking like y'all were gonna give it any effort. But I'm off that. I'm gonna hand you guys the floor. That's gonna do it for me. I hope that you enjoyed. Again, like this if you did enjoy. Like this if you're mad at the Clippers. And of course, consider subscribing if you're new here. It would greatly help me out. I'm going to get on up out of here. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy and always keep it P. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Y'all take it easy.